A good evening, everyone. For a start, I think the most important thing is to show up, really. You know, to be intense, to be there, to be present in the game. Obviously, it's a very, very difficult game, and obviously we put ourselves in a situation where we're behind. But yeah, the most important thing is to be there, be present in every action for 90 minutes. A very long game still. So yeah, to be there, to be active, to be ready.
Hey, hola, Jude. Soy Edu Aguirre del Chiringuito. Quería preguntarte, ¿sentís la presión de jugaros toda la temporada en un partido mañana aquí contra el Bayern?
I think, yeah, well, it seems like that. It comes down to one very important game, you know, considering our situation, obviously, in the league. The Cups, obviously, we were out. I think it is almost like a final for us tomorrow. Obviously, we want to compete and be able to win the Champions League anyway. But, of course, given the situation we're in, we want to still be playing for something at the end of the season and not just kind of having games pass us by. So, yeah, it's hugely important for us, for the club, and all the players understand the importance of it, and we'll be ready to give everything tomorrow.
¿Qué tal, Jude? Iván Martín de OK Diario. Yo te quería preguntar por ti. ¿Cómo estás tú aquí? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Cómo has pasado esta última lesión y cómo has regresado a este momento de la temporada?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Obviously, a bit of a frustrating season for me. My first like this, really, where I'm kind of missing so many games with injury. Obviously, my shoulder was a planned one at the start of the season. And now with my hamstring, the last couple of months has been really, really frustrating. But I'm feeling good now. I think the hardest bit of an injury is when you're coming back and it's trying to mentally kind of prepare for games when, you know, a scan can tell you that the hamstring's fine, but it's a lot of the block is in your head, and that helps with just more minutes on the pitch. And I think playing against Mallorca, playing against Atleti, the minutes especially against Bayern in the first leg have given me a lot of confidence now to be able to push on with my hamstring, and I'm feeling really good.
The one in front of you. In front. Yeah.
Hola, Jude, ¿qué tal? Volviendo un poco al partido de mañana, has dicho que es una final para vosotros. Si mañana no conseguís la remontada, ¿para ti sería un fracaso? Gracias.
Well, I think any loss in the Champions League feels like a disaster. And like I said previously with the other question, it's, yeah, given the situation we're in, we understand that tomorrow's a final and it feels as if maybe everything's riding on this game. It's important that we're present, it's important that we show up, but yeah, I think we have to see it like that. We have to see it as an all or nothing game. That has to be our mentality going into the game. We can't hide from that, and I think we'd like to believe that even if it doesn't go well tomorrow, we have more chances, but that's not the way football is. You know, these are the games that we have to be ready for and that we have to make sure that we grasp with two hands.
Hola, Jude, ¿qué tal? Olivier Lorenzo del País. Te pregunto por ti, por todo el debate que siempre hay alrededor de tu juego, de tu fútbol. En los dos últimos años, al menos desde fuera, ha dado la sensación de que te costaba o de que te está costando encontrar tu posición en el campo, tu sitio en el campo. Te pregunto cómo tú te has visto, cómo te ves en esta evolución de estos dos últimos años. Gracias.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt there's been a change. Obviously, the first year we played with kind of a three-base midfield. I played at the top of that midfield in like a diamond with two kind of wingers, like strikers ahead of me. So positionally, there's been clear changes. The second year was a bit more kind of off the left, coming inside. And this season with Xabi and with Arbeloa, I've been asked to play a little bit deeper. So I think, you know, one of my qualities is that I can play in different positions and do kind of different things to a pretty good level. And I think sometimes maybe I'm a little bit of a victim to that, you know, in terms of having to be moved around the pitch if things aren't going well. But yeah, it's definitely a change, and it's one that I've had to get used to. I think when I'm scoring goals, everyone wants me to be involved in the build-up, and when I'm not scoring, everyone yeah, everyone wants the opposite. So it's important for me to find the balance, understand what I can give the team, even when I'm not scoring, and yeah, hopefully I can just keep progressing, understanding whatever role the manager wants me to do.
Hola Jude, ¿qué tal? Rubén Cañizares de ABC. Quiero continuar con este debate deportivo que te ha planteado Oli. En estas 2 temporadas ha habido muchos comentarios sobre la mezcla que tenéis en el campo Vinicius, Mbappé y tú, sobre cómo 3 jugadores tan buenos, tan brillantes a nivel individual, luego en lo colectivo parece que no mezclan. Yo no sé cómo ves esto y si consideras que se puede jugar mejor vosotros 3, podéis dar más al equipo. ¿Qué te parece?
Well, it's difficult because I still feel like there's been many games where we've mixed really well. At times, of course, it's difficult. The 2 of them are quite naturally left-sided players. I think they both want to receive the ball on the left, and obviously if I've played as the left to play a little bit deeper as the base of their movements, then it can be difficult when we're all on the same side. I think Arbeloa's found a really good balance, obviously having me on the other side a little bit more, and kind of the strength of our game is that we're fluid and we have that freedom to move around, and at times maybe that can be what disorganises a little bit. But I think the both of them, you have to trust their ability and how good they are. You know, I think because of the situation we're in, everyone's very focused on kind of perhaps the more negative side of it. But there's been so many games where the disjointedness and the little bit of fluidity that we play with has been key to winning games. And so, yeah, I'm not too worried about it at all. I think when things are right, and hopefully like tomorrow they can be right, I'm sure that they can win us games. I've seen it before many times. So yeah, I'm confident that they can find the right balance.
Hola, ¿qué tal, Jude? Aquí a tu derecha, Javier Herráez de la cadena SER. Cuando llegaste al Real Madrid, deslumbraste al madridismo. Eras el jugador, si no el más querido, el hombre más seguido. Todo el mundo hablaba muy bien de ti. Después de la lesión del hombro ya tuviste más problemas, y en este último año, también con las lesiones, alguna crítica que había en las redes sociales, se te vio un gesto al celebrar un gol frente al Mónaco, sonriendo, eso sí, pero hacías un gesto de bebida. ¿Por qué hiciste ese gesto y a quién iba dirigido?
Yeah, well, I think I've spoken a little bit about it before. I mean, when you're a footballer, obviously your private life is in the forefront of attention as well, and yeah, I think it was a little bit of a joke, really, to be honest, mate. I think people were making up stuff about my private life, that I was in the clubs and liked to drink, and I was out often, and it simply wasn't true. You know, I've enjoyed nights out in Madrid, of course I have, but the kind of how often they said I was going out just didn't happen. I am very professional. I'm at the training ground every day trying to better myself in a lot of ways, and yeah, it was more just a little bit of a joke to reply.
Hola Jude, Nicolás Liner del diario Bild de Alemania, ¿qué tal? Te quería preguntar por Harry Kane, que está jugando una temporada increíble. Me gustaría saber cómo queréis pararlo mañana y si lo ves entre los favoritos para ganar el Balón de Oro.
Again, I think similar to the debates we've had in the last years, it all depends on what the team achieves. If Harry's an unbelievable player, but it depends on what his teams do first and foremost. And I think, obviously, it seems like they're going to win the Bundesliga, which obviously hurts me considering my brother's at Dortmund and I was a player there. Again, it depends on what he does with England, and hopefully we can try and stop them from winning the Champions League tomorrow, which will obviously have a big effect. But no, he's a sensational player. It's a pleasure to play with him with the national team, and yeah, I think he's amazing. He's showing everyone the last 2 or 3 years that he's reached a level where he's almost perfected his craft in terms of what he can do as a striker. And yeah, it's a joy to watch as a teammate, as you know, going into the World Cup. It's an amazing sight to see him going into such a level of form. But of course, tomorrow we want to be able to nullify his threat.
Hola, Jude. Abraham Romero, El Mundo. Te han preguntado por ti, pero te pregunto por el equipo, por la temporada. ¿Qué crees que ha pasado esta temporada y qué ha pasado también en los últimos meses de la temporada anterior para llegar a esta situación de la que hablabas tú? Que esto sea una final para el Madrid con la Liga prácticamente perdida, fuera de la Copa del Rey. ¿Qué ha podido pasar dentro del club y dentro del vestuario?
Yeah, again, it's a difficult one to sit and reflect about it. We have to have those conversations internally, and we have those conversations privately. I don't think now is here is the best time to talk about some of the issues that we faced. I think ultimately in the league it comes down to the fact that games that we're expected to win, especially at home, we've dropped too many points. I don't think you can win La Liga with the competition there is from Barcelona, with dropping so many points, especially at home. I look back at some of the games this year, Vigo, Getafe the other day, and then some of the away games. It's just, it can't happen that you drop those many points in games you're expected to do well and still win the league. So we don't believe it's over. Stranger things have happened in football, but it's definitely a realisation that we've put ourselves in a really poor position, no doubt about it. I think the good thing about it is tomorrow we have a chance to kind of remove all of that. If the team are doing well in the Champions League and we're still fighting and we can go into the semi-final, then I think the league becomes a little bit more, it can take the back seat a little bit, and we can then fight for the Champions League. But again, it's all on tomorrow.
We're going to do two last questions, últimas dos preguntas.
Servus, Jude. Florian Plettenberg from Sky Germany. Generally speaking, what makes FC Bayern so strong this season? The players, the coach, the system? And would you prefer to see your buddy Jamal Musiala on the bench tomorrow? Thanks.
Yeah, firstly, Bayern are a club that are always competing at a high level. I was obviously here for 3 years with Dortmund. I've been to this place many times, and every time was pretty much the same bad memory. So I know firsthand how good they are, how intense they are. The players are unbelievable. From what I spoke about with Harry, the coach is loved by all the players, and they have a really good dynamic. And yeah, I think the system they play is great as well. I think the intensity in which they play at means that they can kind of maintain that for long spells of games. And obviously they have an incredible front line which are on fire. So yeah, multiple reasons as to why they're such a good team. And as for my mate Jamal, my old roommate, obviously I just want to see him kind of be healthy and be fit, to be fair. Obviously he had an injury that was horrific in the summer, one that it hurt the whole football world to see because of how good he is. And so for me, it's just important that he's back on the pitch and he's enjoying himself.
Last question, última pregunta.
Thank you, Mustafa Paramone, Prime Story Media. A single goal could take the match to the penalty. Since you are going to play tomorrow against the all-day Bayern fans, do you prefer to finish the job in the 90 minutes, or go to penalty?
I think anyone would try and avoid penalties. If we can win in 90 minutes, that'd be ideal. But we have to be prepared for anything that can happen. Obviously, if you're asking me if we'd rather have a shootout in the Bernabeu or here at the Allianz, then of course the answer would be at home. But like I said, the position that we put ourselves in is we have to be ready to kind of overcome the deficit from the first game first and foremost, and then we'll focus on how we can win the game later, depending on what happens. If it goes to penalties, it goes to penalties, and we have to be ready. But yeah, I'd ideally like it to be finished in the 90 minutes.